So what you have here are two documents attached. This is an editing for style sheet. And we're going to walk through what you need to be doing to make sure that your paragraphs are good. Because quite frankly, no one writes a good rough draft. What are you supposed to be worrying about in your rough draft? The ideas. Content and organization, period, full stop, the end. Which means your vocabulary, your grammar, your sentence structure, it probably all sucks. And that is normal. Because if you get yourself all caught up on trying to write the perfect word, what are you going to end up doing? Not writing at all. And I've seen professional authors go down to that. So you need to, first of all, if your rough draft sucks, look at it and say, good, I did my job because I worried only about content and organization. I put all of my brain power in content and organization, and everything else just sort of slipped and slid all over the place, and that's fine. But this is sort of a guide sheet on what we need to be looking at to make sure it doesn't suck by the time you turn it in. The other thing, when you open it, we'll create your own copy of it. And what is this? It's the paragraph that we wrote together. So we're going to do a little bit of editing together. You guys are going to do some editing on your own on this paragraph, which means it's going to go from all of us having the same paragraph to all of us having paragraphs that are modified differently. Okay? But the minute you click make a copy for yourself, this paragraph becomes yours. When we are finished with the lesson, I will turn you loose. Your job will then to either above it or below it type your own paragraph and do the same steps with your own paragraph. Now, why would I say some people might put it above and some people might put it below? We're taking these two paragraphs, we're putting them together into an essay. So why would some of you put your paragraph up here and some of you put your paragraph down here?
It's weaker or stronger.
Yes. You need to go stronger. So if you think your paragraph is stronger than this, you would put it at the bottom. If you think that this is the stronger paragraph, you would put your paragraph at the top. And I can't answer that for you. That has to be your decision to make. So you're going to end up doing different things. So we've got our paragraph here. Let's go to our checklist and let's see what we need to do. Sentence beginnings. If you have too many that is the same, you get this sing-songy children's book kind of quality going to it. So you have to make sure that you're not beginning the same. And that's not only the exact same word. Like if we're starting every sentence with Capulet, can we agree that sucks? But we also don't want to start with the same type of word. So if we're starting every sentence with a noun, but sometimes the noun is Capulet and sometimes it's Juliet and sometimes it's Romeo, that's still not great. So how do we tag our sentence beginnings? I want all of you to hold down your control key and then hit F. Bring that up. I want you to type in there a period and then a space. Look what it does. By highlighting all the periods, what does it really do? Shows you every sentence beginning. And now we can take a look at our sentence beginning. Oh my gosh, look right here. What do I see here? This, and this. Well, that's not good. I also see he, which means, who's the he here? Lord Capulet, Lord Capulet, Lord Capulet. We used to have Lord Capulet, Lord Capulet. Y'all see the problem here, yes? Yeah. We used to have a freshman teacher. She was really good, really tough, but she used to get on kids for writing he papers. Every sentence started with he. And she's like, he. That's not a good look for a paper. So how do I fix that? Because what we have especially with the name, is subject verb. Well, we can add a prepositional phrase to the beginning. So the sample here is in the morning. We can add a time marker early in the book. We can add a gerund or a participial. These are ing words that describe the first noun, and they have to describe the first noun. So in this case, who is hoping to impress? Kathy. It has to describe the first noun, or else you've just created another error. And what you have to remember is this is actually, it's an adjective phrase. It's a dangling. So you have to put it next to the word it would modify. It would dangle under, it would modify. You can put a transitional word or phrase. In fact, you can put an infinitive phrase. This is a phrase that starts with a to and a verb. So, to be perfectly honest. You can put an appositive phrase. This is a definition. I will say this is a dangerous one because you can screw it up a little bit easily. We'll make it a little bit small. But you can put an appositive phrase in there. So, an obsessive person, Kathy often teaches. Okay. Or you can show off your sentence structures by putting a DC up front. If you put a DC up front, what's going to be your first word? The subordinating conjunction. So that will give you more variety. So, do we actually have a lot of ways to vary our sentence beginnings? Which means if we have a paragraph like, well, first of all, if we have a paragraph like this as a rough draft, what are we going to say? Woohoo! You did what you were supposed to, which is you focused on content and organization and did not get yourself caught up in the details. But if we turn this in as a final draft, would we be in trouble?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, because the sentence beginnings here are not acceptable for a high school level. They just aren't. So, what are we going to do?
Change it.
Although Lord Capulet is a good father, tries to be a good father, he is in fact an idiot. What can I put at the beginning of this? Right now, go look through your list and you tell me which would fit best. Right now, turn to your neighbor. What would you use? Because there are a lot of options here.
I can't think of them. I don't think time marker would be easier.
Okay, somebody give me a suggestion. A time marker, what would you do? Okay, throughout the book. Or our specific example, where is it found?
Early.
Early in the book. Or is this Act 1 or Act 2? I don't remember. Okay, then we could say in Act 1. So would any of those time markers work well?
Yes.
Yeah, those all sound great. Give me another thing we could use here. Yes. Gerund or participial. What ing would work there?
Hoping to keep her safe.
Hoping to keep his daughter safe. He does everything to protect his daughter. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And with gerunds, one of the trick is look at your subject and say, what is he feeling? Because a lot of times feelings work really well as gerunds and participles. So, loving his daughter. He does everything he can to protect his daughter. So do gerunds and participles work well here? Okay, somebody give me another one. Time markers work well, gerunds and participles work well.
Prepositional phrase.
Prepositional phrase. Give me a prepositional phrase. Can I have something like in truth? He does everything he can to protect his daughter.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Yeah.
How many phrases did we just generate in about 2 minutes?
A lot.
We generated like 3 or 4 time markers. We then did like 2 participials and gerunds and a participial phrase. Not a prepositional phrase. Right now, I want you to pick one of those or one that you like better, and I want you to plop it on the front of that sentence. Go. Is any one of those phrases better than any other? No. So how are you going to choose which one to put?
By how you like it.
By how much you like it. This is your paper. Pick what you like.
Would we put in the beginning of the book or the novel?
You would say play.
Like,
By the way, could I put a DCIC?
I think so.
I like the way that sounds. Guess what I'm now going to ask you to do for the next 4 minutes? I want you to change the sentence beginnings. Your goal is that you never repeat the same sentence twice in a row. So you would never do noun, verb twice in a row. But you are going to, we're talking about Lord Capulet. So if you have 2 Lord Capulet sentence beginnings, that's fine, as long as they are nowhere close to each other. So right now, 4 minutes on the clock, I want you to go fix sentence beginnings. Go. Okay, but right now we have to be doing this. So I want you working on editing the one that you have up there. Okay? After class or at lunch, I will be happy to look over your data sets. Okay?
It actually isn't. We do it so that as a reader, it's easier to see, because a sentence is, of course, a unit of meaning. And by putting the space after it, it's easier to see where your chunks are. In fact, back when we used to use typewriters, because not all the letters were the same size, some were bigger than others, it was hard to see the gap between sentences. So we used to put two spaces. And that's why some of us who are old still do the two spaces out of habit. But it's there for the reader to help them see where the ideas end.
Oh, that's 4 minutes. How did you guys do with breaking up the sentence beginnings?
I'm not quite done.
Not quite done, but do you guys know how to go through and finish on your own?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you get more than half of it done?
I only have one more time.
Only one more sentence. So there you go. And I will tell you, most kids who really struggle with writing, it's either they have trouble getting started because they're trying to be perfect in the first place, or they slap stuff down on the page and go, I'm done. No, you aren't done. Please don't do that. So what's our next thing? After sentence beginnings, we have sentence types. What is the whole purpose of me having you do no red ink, me having you do sentence diagramming? So that you can understand it for yourself, so that you can use it for yourself. I don't care if you can do grammar on no red ink if you can't do it in your own writing. So, subordinating conjunctions. This is important because it shows one idea is more important than the other. Coordinating conjunction. Fanboys, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Connecting two complete sentences with a comma and a fanboy. That's nice because you're telling me what the relationship is between two ideas. If you don't tell me the relationship between ideas, if you don't connect simple sentences together, then as the reader, I'm left struggling trying to figure out, how do you think these ideas are related? Do you think these ideas are similar, or do you think one causes the other? I don't know because you've left the connecting words out. Semicolon only, it connects two short, closely related sentences. So I now know, wow, you think those two ideas are really similar. Compound conjunctive adverb, that's when you're joining two complete sentences with the semicolon adverb comma. That emphasizes the importance about the relationship. An adverb is such a large conjunction that it really draws attention to itself. The colon. When do we use a colon? When you have a main idea in a complete sentence and it's being followed by a specific example or a detail. Have you guys learned all these? Yeah. The question is, do you use them? So we need to go through and we need to identify what sentence types we have. What is this?
ICDC.
DC up front. So that's a DCIC. So that's a subordinating conjunction. I turned my second one into a second subordinated conjunction. You may have said, dude, I don't want two DCIC sentences right next to each other. You might have done something different. But as it was before I edited it, what is just this? And what would it be if what you added is only a short little phrase to the front? What is this that I highlighted?
A sentence.
If I get rid of this, what would this be that remains? That's a simple sentence. Absolutely. Oh, wait. Here we go. What is this one?
Compound.
Might be, except I don't have another sentence here. So it is in fact just a simple sentence. You have one subject and it branches off into two verbs. Close. How about this sentence? That looks simple, except, is that a complete sentence?
No. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Is that a complete sentence? So what should I have? That's actually a fan voice. Okay. What is this?
Why did we highlight, an underline?
Oh, the underlying stuff is the stuff that when we were doing our rough draft, we said, wow, that sucks.
Yeah, the repeat thing, but just now the loves his daughter part, and you also deleted it for a second.
Oh, well, it highlighted because he was highlighted. So when I typed in front of it, the computer just automatically highlighted it. And I deleted it for a second so that you could see I turned a simple sentence into a complex one. What was there originally was simple.
Okay, I didn't do that. Like I stuck for like 5 seconds. I got confused.
I'm sorry, what?
I got distracted for like 5 seconds and now I'm confused. Did we add anything?
I added a subordinating conjunction. I asked you to add whatever you liked. So some
I mean,
people,
like comma, semicolon, so.
no, we haven't yet. We're just identifying. Okay, so we have a subordinating conjunction here. What do we have here? Somebody, yes, simple. Thank you. What do we have here?
Subordinate.
There's your subordinating right there. So that's a subordinate. What do we have here? Subordinating. This is an ICDC. What do we have here? Yeah. What pattern are we identifying? We have symbols and subordinates. Have we shown off that we have any other skills? No. So what do we have to do? We have to add some. And we don't want to do it randomly. We want to do it in a place that makes sense. So if I use a conjunctive adverb, semicolon, adverb, comma, joining two sentences, I am emphasizing how important that relationship is. Is this important? Is the relationship between these two ideas that he wants to assault her and that's why he says his fingers itch? Is that an important relationship?
Yes.
Okay, so I want to say cause and effect. I want to use therefore. Can I say he says his fingers itch, therefore he wants to assault her?
Yeah.
Okay, if it makes sense. Now, how have I changed the order? Before, this was subordinated, which means I was saying this was. Look up the way it was before. Which is the main idea, your first or your second? No. Which is attached to this is attached to the subordinate. That makes this more or less important. We just said his desire to assault her is less important. Does that really follow?
No.
That's why I stopped here and said this would be a really good place to switch into a conjunctive adverb. Because this is not a less important idea. Okay? So, this is a simple sentence. No, it isn't. This is a complex sentence. We like complex. This is this is subordinate. There's your subordinating word. This is subordinating. Yeah. I want you to pick one other place where you can add a semicolon only, a conjunctive adverb, a colon sentence to what we already have. All you have to do is change one sentence type, because you're not trying to be crazy pants and make every single sentence different. You're trying to show, first of all, that you know different structures, but second of all, you're trying to make sure that you're using the structures correctly, and you're not doing something like subordinating a really important idea that should in fact stand out as important. Does that make sense? Okay. 2 minutes, I want you to change one sentence into a structure that we have not already used. So semicolon only, colon. I'd actually be fine with another conjunctive adverb. That's a nice strong structure. I need you editing this paper. One minute left. Find your sentence, edit it into a different sentence structure.
You can't use the
I'm sorry, what was your question, dear?
I was gonna ask, so you're gonna use something. Was that what you just used?
No, no. I said the only thing you can't use is don't add another subordinating conjunction or symbol. Because can we agree that this paper proves we have subordinating conjunctions down? Yeah. It would be nice if it also proved that we could do semicolons and colons. So you just have to add variety in there. Would I expect there to be a colon in a complete essay? Yeah, I would expect somewhere in an essay there would be at least one colon. Would I expect an essay to have 2, 3, 4 semicolons?
No.
Yeah. You have 4 paragraphs in an essay. So I would expect to have like 2, 3, 4 semicolons. I would expect to have a colon. If you're a high school student, I expect you to show that you're mastering the skill, and I would expect you to show that you understand why we use the sentence types. So I would only expect a colon if you have a main idea followed by a specific example. And by the way, are there places we can fit a colon in here? Yeah, because there are places where we have main ideas that are attached to a specific example of it. Yes.
Can I do an example where I told them?
Sure.
You know where you say Shakespeare like 60, 65, and 66, where you like list the names of sheep mother.
Okay. Yes, Lord Capulet calls Juliet many horrible names. Is that a complete sentence? Then I can put a colon, and I can I now have a colon and I have one less subordinate. And does that match? Does that fit? Yeah, it does. So, do you have to do a little bit of looking? Yes. But that's why I don't want you doing this until you have a rough draft down, because it does take some thought and some effort.
Are we supposed to change it how you used to?
No, you don't have to, because it is your, now that you've opened your own copy, you can edit it however you want. I'm just gonna look for evidence that you did the style editing. Now, vocabulary, couple of things to do to fix your vocabulary. First of all, you need to control F for any low-level crappy words, and you need to kill them. So, control F, good. Yeah. As much as he tries to be a decent father. I might have gone for something stronger, as much as he tries to be an affectionate father. But here's the deal. You have to change it to match how you see the character and what you're trying to say. The thing about good is it's so generic, it doesn't communicate anything, which is why are all of us likely to have different synonyms that we put in there? Yeah. If he weren't trying to be a good and protective father, well, I have an and there, so it's really easy to do what here? Why do I need both good and protective? Because protective is good, so I'm repeating myself. Okay, although Lord Capulet tries to be a good father. Affectionate, excellent,
Wait, I thought we put decent.
capable. Well, that was down here at the bottom. Okay? Strong, protective, loving. But here's the deal. You have to pick which of those you think best matches this argument. So you pick your own replacement for good. Bad. Do I have any bad? No. Very. I have an everything. That's not the same as very. Stuff. Thing. Everything, we're fine. Nice. What are some other low-level words that are just crappy out? Like. But I'm using it correctly there to set up a comparison commentary. So I'm not gonna do anything with that. Any other crappy dap words? Nope. The nice thing about Control F is we can search for whatever we want. What is one word that you have to search for? Because if you have it, the top of my head will blow off. Shouldn't have I in here at all, nor should you have you. Right. So you're going to have to definitely search for you. Hey. Okay, can I catch you after I do the lecture? I'll be right there. Okay, so we have to kill the low level, but then we have to get in there. You okay? Can you grab some napkins and help her out? Hey, it didn't hit the computer, floor's dry. Napkins are over here. We have to get some higher level vocab words in. So, we have a couple of things we can do here. We can go to the link I gave you for vocab.com. And this is an academic word list. You can look through the word list and find really good, strong words that you think would fit naturally. You can learn the word list, study the vocab words, and do the games. And that is probably the best strategy for you, because that means you're actually learning higher level college words. but sometimes it's hard to figure out which words fit and which words don't. So your other option, and this is one that you can't do from a school computer because the school is like ChatGPT. No, it's evil. Have y'all used ChatGPT? Yeah. And one of the things you can do is, first of all, don't ask it to write your papers because this pulls things from the internet. Is the average person on the internet smart or dumb?
Very intelligent.
No. Yeah. So if you ask it to write paper, all it's doing is it's estimating from what it has in its bank and basically plagiarizing 1,000 people instead of one to mix it up so it doesn't look like any one person's writing. But the problem with that is that means it is averaging 1,000 people. And how many of those 1,000 people are going to be stupid? Probably, yeah. You have much better odds doing it for yourself. However, it can do some interesting stuff. So let's ask it to edit this paper to add college vocabulary. Give it a colon, and then I'm going to drop our paper in there. Send message. And let's see what ChatGPT says. And it's sending us back a paper. Dude, it split it up into separate paragraphs, which is not good. So we already see, why is it doing that? Because the average paragraph on the internet is like from a newspaper. Newspaper paragraphs are short, so it's trying, yeah. So let's take a look at what it did. Although Lord Capulet endeavors to embody paternal responsibility.
That's a little weird.
That's
good. No. No, that's bad.
That's bad? How's that bad?
Because it's awkward, and we're not talking about stop and listen. We're not talking about responsibility at all, which means it's just taken us off topic.
Oh, so
If we use this, we are,
is it ChatGPT supposed to be smart?
we're screwed if we use this.
Oh, we're definitely screwed.
Yeah, because we have now put responsibility in the topic sentence when that is not in the paper, which means we've now failed our organization. So we're going to ignore this entire first phrase. Okay, his actions reveal him to be an imbecile. Do you like imbecile more than moron?
It's not just like straight up.
Okay, which do you want to do? Imbecile or moron? How many of you say imbecile? Oh, we had idiot. Sorry, the other class had moron. Imbecile or idiot?
We have more at the end.
No, I like idiots.
Let's keep idiot more.
Okay, keep idiot. Motivated by paternal affection, he endeavors to safeguard his daughter.
And
Do you like it? He endeavors to safeguard? Okay. Capulet. Instead of he does everything to protect his daughter, so he endeavors. It would help if I spelled it right. To protect his daughter. Now they have, he endeavors to safeguard his daughter.
That's too much. No.
No, okay. Lord Capulet ardently advocates for Juliet's autonomy.
well, it takes away our quote.
It killed some of our quote. It did. It killed part of our quote. So Lord Capulet wants to give Juliet a choice. Lord Capulet, do you want to say advocates for Juliet to have a choice?
I don't think advocate's the right word.
Advocate. Thank you for spotting it. Advocate means that you go to someone else and argue for a position. If I advocate for you to the principal, that means I'm going to the principal and I'm arguing, hey, he's a good kid, he shouldn't be in trouble for this. Does Lord Capulet advocate to anyone?
No. System,
Which
no.
means the word isn't just awkward,
It's incorrect.
it's incorrect. Okay, additionally, he expresses a desire to postpone Juliet's marriage for 2 more summers.
That doesn't sound like it.
He expresses a desire to postpone. Do you like that one?
I changed class, but as a result, she's still there.
Okay. So, where is it? There it is. Expresses his desire to postpone the wedding for 2 more summers so she won't be marred.
What's
Okay. Had he not been inclined towards protective paternalism,
You used paternal like 3 times now.
yes.
It sounded too fancy.
It doesn't sound fancy. You think it sounds fancy because it has big words? I think it sounds incredibly awkward and wrong. It sounds like a 6th grader that somebody turned loose with a dictionary, only the kid didn't actually understand all the words. Okay, he would have readily arranged Juliet's marriage. If he were not trying to be a protective father, he would have readily arranged Juliet's marriage.
That's better.
I like that.
Okay,
What is better?
easily. And that is an excellent question because I never want you to use a word that you don't really understand. So the thing with ChatGPT is how much of their editing are we taking? A pretty small portion. Generally, when I look at ChatGPT, probably 10% of it is awesome. Another 10% of it is good. You then have like maybe another 30, 40, 50%, depending on the poll. That's okay. It's not the best, really. And then you have stuff that is just flat out wrong. Like, dude, if you put this, you are actually wrong. So, ChatGPT can be a wonderful resource that you can't use from your computer. However, when you ask ChatGPT to edit for you, you have to go through every single suggestion. In fact, I would never recommend that you copy and paste this back because some kids will be like, oh, I'll copy and paste this into my document and then I'll go back and clean it up. Don't do that because the chances are you're going to pull stupid in and then not edit it back out. So when you're using ChatGPT, ask it a question. Ask it to add more sentence structure. Ask it to add more vocabulary. But then go through and look at each suggestion individually and evaluate whether that suggestion actually works. Make sense? Okay. It can be a great resource. It can also lead you astray, which is why, quite frankly, it's probably better to take a list of academic words and learn them really, really well so that you can just use them off the top of your head. Especially since on the PBA, can you use internet resources? No.
Is there a dictionary on that?
I think so.
If not, I think I still have, I have dictionaries over there if they don't have dictionaries on it. So, yeah, because it's a district test, I don't have access, so. Last thing, whisper phone. Most of them are found over there on the blue craft shelf. What is the advantage of taking your final paragraph after you edit everything and whispering it to yourself?
It doesn't sound like you. You're getting it from like someone else talking.
You're hearing a different voice reading it out loud. And this is where you're gonna spot those stupid mistakes where you've like left a word out. And by the way, when I was typing up my rough drafts from what we did by handwriting under the camera, I found there were places I left words out. That happens. It happens to smart kids more than regular kids because the brain is spinning fast and you're thinking about what you want to do next. And you don't always keep your pencil writing what you're focused on now because you're thinking about what you want to do next. And sometimes the brain just spins a little too fast. The whisper phone, if you whisper it, and you can whisper so soft in these, if you whisper it out loud to yourself, it will give you the opportunity to find any of those stupid mistakes. Make sense? Last thing, format. Double space, 1-inch margins, simple font, the computer default, and you cannot use parentheses unless you're doing a formal citation. Now, how do you double space? Edit, select all, or Control A. And then you find the paragraph that has the arrow going up and down, and you hit double. Never, ever, ever leave it single space, which is very hard to read. Do you see how hard that is to read? Like, don't make me miserable when I'm grading. And never, because some kids will be like, oh, I'll hit enter at the end of every line twice. No. No, it will screw up all your formatting eventually. So you have to do the double spacing that's right there. Now, I thought we were going to spend half the hour with modeling style editing and the other half of the hour with you guys editing your own papers. Yeah, I judged time badly on that one. So instead what we're going to do is tomorrow you guys are going to have time to type your rough draft into the computer. And then you're going to have to style edit both all the way through. Yep.